I'm going to do a dish called a Bourride, which is one of the first sort of foreign dishes I ever cooked in Padstow. Right back in the late 70s, I was cooking this Bourride. Use the one pan. I'm just going to make a few croutons, first of all, to go on the top of my Bourride, and then I'm going to use the same pan to finish the Bourride. So these are croutons which I'm going to spread with a little bit of chili and a little bit of aioli, which is garlic mayonnaise. And now to make the Bourride sauce proper. First of all, a bit more olive oil in the pan. There we go. And some of these flavors that I'm so keen on. Some onion, first of all. And some fennel. Some leek. Some garlic. Plenty of garlic. Just fry that around. Okay, now all these veg are actually going to appear in the final dish. That's why I've chopped them up very nicely and neatly. There we go. I think the recipe would say cook this for about 5 minutes, but I'm just going to do it for about 2 because I just want to get on with it. So there we go. Next, orange peel, very important. Lovely flavour in these Provençal dishes. Always like to put orange peel in Provençal fish soup, which I'm a great fan of, and also in bouillabaisse, which I'm also a great fan of. So all the massively important ingredient now, some saffron. Look at that colour. Beautiful. There we go. Now I'm just going to put a couple of flavourful herbs in there too. Now I'm going to make this dish with 3 types of seafood. First, some John Dory. So now there's my basic sauce. I'm just going to add a bit of tomatoes, like that. And then some stock, some fish stock, comme ça. And some prawns. Now, I don't know whether you mind eating prawns whole, but they look so much better in the finished dish. And in fact, I like to eat the heads of prawns, so if I'm doing a fish stew like this fish stew, so I'll just put those in whole, like that. And actually, as all these fish are fairly uniformly thick and of similar consistency, I will put them in together. Just cut my dory down a little bit, I think, like that. I do think it's one of the best fish stews simply because the finish to it is so luxurious, I would say. You actually finish this stew, as I'm going to show you shortly, by just beating in aioli, garlic mayonnaise, into the sauce. And it just gives this lovely garlicky flavour, of course. Right, we don't need that. That's coming on very nicely. And in fact, let me just pass on a few words of thought about cooking fish. You don't want to overcook it. And what I'll be looking for generally in fish is a temperature of about, fillets of fish, of about 50 degrees in the center, no more. Because after you've sort of reached 50 degrees, then the fish will cook on to probably about 60, 65 degrees. And after about 70 degrees, fish becomes progressively more and more boring because the sort of lovely fresh juices sort of cook out. So you're left with rather dry and tasteless fish, but a very good stock. So that is just about there. Everybody got these in kitchens? Fantastic. Actually, because all this fish is so nice and firm, I can use it. If I was doing a soft fish like cod or mine goes a blank, kind of think of any Australian soft fish. If I was using it, probably Australian salmon, which I have had. I'm not that fussed about it, but it is very soft. It would fall apart if I lifted it out like this. So what I'm doing here now is just taking the fish which is cooked out, and I love these prawns. Do you know what? If you asked me what was the best seafood in Australia, I'd say, or fish seafood, I would say the prawns. The prawns are, we have nothing like it back in the UK. It's a shame. But all the more reason for coming here. So, just taste that now. What I'm looking for is a good sort of reduced flavour. So, what I'm going to do now is make the Bourride sauce. So into another dish, I'll put a nice quantity of garlic mayonnaise, aioli. This is just simply a mayonnaise made with olive oil with lots and lots of garlic in it. And then I will get myself a little ladle and add some of the sauce to the mayo. And then whisk it in. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because aioli is made with eggs, with egg yolks. I don't want to put it into too hot a liquid because it will just split. In other words, the egg yolks will cook into scrambled egg and it'll split. But if I do it sort of gently like this, then I can actually use the egg to thicken my sauce. And so I'm just going to introduce it to a bit of flame in a minute and just keep whisking while I'm good you're watching that so I can just go, oh, of course I'm there as well. So there we go. So in there goes the fish. And now to finish off the sauce, just a bit more of that sauce in there, into there. And actually, I might just put all that aioli in there from here. Smelling lovely. I don't know, can you smell it there, or is it too far away, really? Oh, well. So you can see it is quite rich, but as I said, I do think a fish dish like this really needs some sort of nurturing. Which I'm still a great fan of actually using butter and cream in a lot of fish sauces. I don't see that that's too much of a problem. So just going to bring that up to temperature. Using my little finger. Basically, I shouldn't have licked it, but I'm just going to bring that up to temperature. And by the temperature, I mean a temperature that's slightly uncomfortable to your little finger, which will be enough to cook the egg yolk in that sauce, but not enough to split it. And actually, as you're stirring, you can hear as the sauce starts to thicken, just simply by the whisk going through it. So you do want it, it's just much nicer. It does have this slight sort of viscosity, this slight sort of custard, I suppose. You could say it's a garlic custard. Obviously, maybe lots of olive oil, not with cream. So that's now ready to go on top of the fish. Try not to drop the pole into it. And I'm just going to finish now, with a little bit of parsley, and B, with these croutons. Now, I haven't, of course, left myself any aioli to spread on the croutons. We'll try a little bit. And that is it. Do you mind if I just try it? I wish I could. It's really good. I mean,